I think we kind of just...
I'm always on time. I'm ahead of the game. I'm first place. I'm in my prime. Hard work that pays off. I pay dues. I'm paid off. Cross me, get crossed off. I'm so fresh. I'm so raw. Go hard like A-Day. It's game time like game day.
This season, watch the Hungry Jacks NBL take it to the next level.
We'll race anything around here. Even the odd penny farthing.
The NBL Preseason Blitz has been a blast right across Australia, through Tasmania, through New South Wales and Victoria. We've seen some young stars put their best foot forward, some experienced superstars show us what they've got, and a new team show us the spirit that they will play in across this NBL 22 season. But it comes down to game one of our Sunday doubleheader between the Brisbane Bullets and the Adelaide 36ers to decide the Loggins Bruton Cup. Hello and welcome on KO Freebies. Brisbane and Adelaide first up, Melbourne and Southeast Melbourne in a throwdown to come later on this afternoon. Jack Heverin joined in commentary by Pete Hooley. Pete, we need to find ourselves a winner.
We do, and as you said, it's been a big blitz, a lot of new plays everyone's getting used to as we look forward to the season, and we already see the Brisbane Bullets line up here. They know they've got a couple of days to prepare for the regular season, so they've got some soreness and resting some superstars, and see Nathan Sovey, Anthony Drimmick, Lamar Patterson not suiting up in this one, and a couple of key outs for the Sixers as well, but they've got their big off-season signing of Mitch McCarron and the big fella DJ who's going to be out there.
Just 1 point separates these two teams. Illawarra have only played a couple of games, unfortunately, due to COVID situations. But for the Adelaide 36ers to start with, Pete, I mean, there's so many positives for both teams, but new coach, very, very new lineup, 4 games, 4 wins. They must be delighted with their blitz.
Well, always good to win, and to be honest, they haven't played to nowhere near their best, and especially the consistent style of basketball that CJ Bruton is looking for. And even that game against Tasmania, down big early and really didn't play well. I mean, Tasmania kind of helped them get back into it, and after that, the Sixers did enough to get the win. But they'll be looking to put a nice little consistent thing together here, at least in the first half. We know there's some key outs for both sides. How much you see the guys like Daniel Johnson and Mitch McCarron playing in the second half, we'll find out.
MyState Bank Arena, the venue, the same venue that next Friday we'll be back at for the season opener. And the Jack Jumpers will begin their NBL campaign. But today we have the decider. Brisbane controlling the tip.
This will be a good matchup to watch. Mojave King versus Tom Digbo as Jason Kadee tries to get started and does. Good to see Jason Kadee back out there. Had a bit of food poisoning from what I hear, so good to see him back out there. He'll be trying to lead the Bullets, who resting a few guys, but Tom Digbo, Mojave King, next star on next star, and exciting next stars. Talk about athleticism. Look forward to that.
Starting lineups for both teams. For Brisbane, Deng, Digbo, Kadee, Salt and Tanner Krebs. There's Jack Salt at the top of the key. Limited minutes throughout the NBL Blitz as Kadee looks to make it 2 from 2. He's deep. For Adelaide, McCarron, Withers. There is Withers running the floor. His pass chopped off. Mojave King out there too. Sunday Deck and Daniel Johnson. Adelaide have the numbers up ahead. Withers hard to the rack. He wanted a foul. No call from the official. Deng into the paint. It's fouled by Johnson.
A little scrappy early in the first minute, and that's probably what we're going to expect. There's a good chance here for some of the young guys to get some opportunity in the blitz as we head towards the regular season, where you know that the rotations are really going to tighten up. But 36, I'll tell you what, I am disappointed we don't see Dusty Hannahs out here today. How good was he the other night? Just took over late and a little chirpy. That's what we'd like to see.
Bit of passion. Him and Kevin White coming together late in the game. He's a flat-out shooter, Dusty Hannahs. We heard the raps on him, Pete, when he joined the league that he's one of the best shooters in the world outside of the NBA. He's given us a pretty good look at that during the blitz.
Well, he has. He's going to get plenty of shots because Mitch McCarron, a true pass-first point guard, is going to be looking to get him some shots. And good defense there from Kadee on Sunday Detch.
Stigbo lost the handle, but Mojave King checked his body on the way through.
Good chance here for Jack Salt as well. We see him step in. No, Terrell Harrison, he'll be sitting this one out as well. And Big Lou's going to get some opportunity to get out there.
It's very much an unknown, Jack Salt. What we do know is that his best is good. Played his college basketball at Virginia. First ever New Zealand player to win an NCAA title, but has had a torrid 3 years with injury. There he is, underneath. He's going to get himself some early free throws.
Those are the things you have to do in the regular season. When you're trying to break into that rotation and get some really solid minutes, it's going to be about cleaning up the offensive glass, playing solid defense, and just finishing opportunities. So if you can knock these two down and try and build on this good little start.
He's dealt with glandular fever and multiple knee issues over that torrid 3 years that I just mentioned. You can see his left knee pretty heavily strapped. He goes 1 of 2. McCarron up the floor. Johnson's handoff to King. He sags back out. He's had a really good blitz, Daniel Johnson. So he draws the foul. 33 points in their first game against Cairns. He took that game over in overtime. The 36ers have been a little bit more conservative with his minutes since then, but he looks like he's coming into this season in fantastic condition.
Well, he knows how to score the ball, and I know he's another year older, but he's just so tough to guard. His ability to put the ball on the floor, the way he manages to take that first step, get by players, and as we said last year, he's the slowest, quickest, slowest player we've seen for a long time, because he's got that quick first step, and then he slows right down, takes these weird-looking shots, but they always seem to go down, and he is really tough in that matchup wherever he catches the ball.
Mojave King, Tom Digbo, as Pete mentioned, that matchup is going to be one to look out for this afternoon. Deng Deng from mid-range. That misses everything. Now Johnson in the low block, trying to back in on Salt.
Well, it was well done by Salt in the end. You saw what Daniel Johnson was trying to do. He faces up, wants to try and rip right to his middle, and then he has the spin back. But Jack Salt played it perfectly. As soon as Daniel Johnson went to his spin, immediately closed the gap, went straight up into him, didn't let him get anywhere, any space, and caused a turnover.
We spoke about Adelaide before the tip, undefeated in this blitz. The same can be said of Brisbane. Their 3 games have been 3 wins. Salt rolls to the basket, and once again gets himself back on the free throw line. Do you kind of get the impression, Pete, that Brisbane are taking on this mentality of us against the world, in terms of that I think they feel like everyone's written them off before the season's even started?
100%. And obviously a new coach, new system, the way they're going to go about it, but maybe not so much written them off, but not enough talk about them as potential what they could do. And that's what you want. You want to have that mindset coming in and I guess trying to prove all the doubters wrong. And they've done that in the blitz, no doubt. I mean, Nathan Sobey, we know what he's going to bring, but the big question mark was undoubtedly Lamar Patterson. What shape is he in? What's his mindset like? And he has been unbelievable as Sunday Detch gets the 6s on the board. Lamar Patterson, he's back from what we've seen, and I cannot wait to see how he goes about the regular season with him and Nathan Sobey playing a lot, with the ball being in their hands a lot, and everybody else chiming in. Well, it's going to be a tough cover.
So he's back, in your mind?
I mean, it is only the preseason, but he looks exactly how that MVP caliber form would take there from Tanner Krebs. And I'm talking about playmaking, his decision-making, his quickness, his ball handling. And when the game was on the line the other night at Ulverston, Nathan Sobey put himself on the wing and said, Lamar, you run the play, and I'll sit in the corner and feed off you. And that's what you want. You want your superstars working together, and that's just a really promising sign for Brisbane.
Bullets lead it by 4, midway through the opening term. Tanner Krebs dribbled himself into a brick wall. McCarron came up with it. Numbers ahead. Threw up an awkward lob for Mojave King, and Johnson couldn't make the tip in work either. There's Kadee driving with the left hand and laying it up on McCarron.
Jason Kadee kind of using this game, trying to get his confidence up, because he has been ill, as we said, and hasn't been able to play as much as he would have liked in the preseason. So just get that feel with the ball in your hands and know what that veteran leadership is going to bring for the Bulls this season.
First sub of the game. Kadee will sit down. Tamari Wignes coming in. Jack Salt out. Shuan Xing Lu playing his first minutes in the Loggins Bruton Cup decider. Deck missing on his 3. Nick Marshall couldn't keep it in play. I always like to see in a pre-season tournament, Pete, you learn a little bit about a couple of teams. It's only, again, a small sample size, but Nick Marshall from the Adelaide 36ers, in the brief opportunity we've seen it looks like he's got a future.
Well, he's a confidence type player. And again, these young guys, this big Lou comes in, gets the offensive rebound, no good there. CJ Bruton just giving him that chance to go out there and play confident basketball. Tanner Krebs, 2 for $1 in the same possession, knocks it down. Another one. Tanner Krebs looking good in pre-season, and there's only so many minutes for these guards on this Bullets roster. When you talk about Nathan Sobey, Lamar Patterson, how much they're going to play. Daniel Johnson, no good on that one. Deng comes up with the rebound. Tanner Krebs, Anthony Drimmick's been playing really well as well when he steps onto the floor in that offensive punch. Tom Digbo's going to get his chance. Jason Kadee, there's only so many minutes left, and James Duncan's going to have to figure out what rotation works the best for the Bullets. And don't forget, we haven't seen Isaiah Moss at all.
No, we have not.
Another import recruit for the Bullets, has sat out the entire preseason. So there's another one who comes in with a nice little resume to add to the Bullets roster, and it's going to be some juggling to do.
I think it was the Perth win in their second game of the Blitz. They beat the Wildcats by 10 in Ulverston. That I think a few people went, okay, you've just beaten the Wildcats. You had a win first up against Cairns. I think that made people stand up and take a bit of notice.
Well, again, the preseason, you don't so much look at the wins and losses, it's how those games are played. And Liam Santamaria was talking about that in terms of his power rankings of the last 2 weeks, not what he thinks where the teams will finish up, but how they've played. And that's why the Perth Wildcats, we see now is nowhere near what we're going to see midway through the season. It's just not. They've just been a bit slow to get started, which is expected with how late they've all come together. And I think that's why the Bullets not winning that game wasn't a surprise. It was the way they did it. And that was a really positive sign.
Wignes down the floor quickly. Didn't finish off the layup. Now Adelaide have the outnumber up ahead. Marshall baseline. The play breaks down, and now they look for something a little more meaningful. Shot clock at 8 for McCarron. Throw it away.
I was just about to say, Mitch McCarron, he's a pass first point guard, and Liam Santamaria's pick is Josh Majette to lead the league in assists, which is a very, very good chance. It's a very high chance, but Mitch McCarron's going to be up there. He's got the guys around him to feed the rock in the right spaces, and he's always looking to do that. Picks and chooses his time to get on the scoreboard.
Had 9 on Friday night in their win over the Wildcats. So timeout with 4.5 minutes remaining. So in this last game, Pete, obviously there is the Loggins Bruton Cup title up for grabs. What else will CJ Bruton and James Duncan be looking to get out of this last game?
Well, it's hard because you're missing some guys. You see Cam Bairstow, Dusty Hannes, Kai Sotto there not playing. Normally, as you get closer to the regular season, you want to treat the last couple of Blitz preseason games as close as possible to normal. So then when you hit the regular season, you're already ahead of the game. You can have the rotation semi-down pack. A lot of things change. We try and treat it normal, but you see the Brisbane Bullets have come out and said they resting their guys. Robert Franks, we haven't mentioned as well. What a great revelation he's been to the Bullets. They just want to make sure that they're fit and healthy, ready to kick off round one properly, and same with the Sixers, but you still have different pieces here or there that you want to test out. I'm sure they would have loved, ideally, to have everybody out there and see what works best, because this has been the issue for the Sixers and the Blitz. The slow starts is something they've really got to fix. Because in the regular season, you start slow against certain teams, they're not bringing their bench on as quickly and as often, so they can really put you to the sword early. It's going to be an almighty task to come back every single day if you start slow.
They've given up some massive head starts. That's a problem for CJ Bruton. Weakness misses everything. Johnson wants to go coast to coast. What about the handles on the big man and the finish?
That's why he's so unique. He's done that his whole career. Just a certified bucket getter.
And a bucket that the 36ers needed out of the timeout. Digbo travels. It was fouled before that. One of the NBL's next stars for this season, Tom Digbo, 20 years of age. Really came to life in the second game, their win over the Wildcats that we mentioned earlier. Tom Digbo, I haven't seen Liam Santamaria's votes from that game, but I would suggest that Tom Digbo would have polled very well in that particular performance.
Well, we're going to see some exciting plays, that's for sure, as well as performances overall, but just plays. He's already put a couple together, some highlight plays. And seen it from some next stars, Hugo Basson, Ousmane Dieng. But also one we'll see next game, Ariel Porte. Now, I know every stadium needs to have backup hoops, but when Melbourne United play, there is a strong chance he pulls one down this year.
He's a big man, big, strong, powerful young man. That game, as Pete said, coming up next. 3 o'clock Eastern Daylight Savings Time.
Oh, you gotta be serious. You can't be kidding me.
McCarron got it back in the end. Marshall wide open for 3. That'll be it. A turnover against the 36ers. Just 5 points to their name as we come up towards quarter time. It is a different lineup out there, but
it is. But
5 points is 5 points.
It is, and you know Mitch McCarron is going to be out there and always looking to pass first, as he's done the last couple of years before he starts to find his own offense. But you've still got Sunday Detch, you've still got Withers out there. Daniel Johnson was there. A lot of points will come from Dusty Hannahs, Isaac Humphries, but still 5 points in the first 7 minutes. Not going to do them any favours.
It's Marshall. Rebound for Withers. Catch and shoot from the top. That's off the rim and out of play as well.
Had Dufemar coming into the game now. He's a bit of offense. Offensive punch. We'll get a timeout to talk things over. That's what I like to see. Look at Lamar Patterson. That's what I mean by he's checked in this year. He's ready to go. He's coaching everybody. Just the mindset, his attitude when he steps onto the floor in the preseason has just been outstanding. And this is an MVP caliber player. We forget just because of what happened last year. When he's playing at his best, one of the best players in the competition.
I know that Homicide had some pretty strong things to say about Lamar Patterson on NBL Overtime. Brisbane, from what I'm being told, have taken those comments on board, and Lamar himself is pretty keen to prove a lot of people wrong this season.
And I don't think he needed to hear that, because it had already been spoken about so much, and Jason Kadee came out and said probably a month ago that Lamar Patterson knew that, and he basically bet on himself to stay around in the NBL 1. Hadn't had the signature put pen to paper, said I'm going to work on all these little facets of my game, what I need to get better at after a disappointing year, and I'm going to be locked and loaded. And I know we're only talking about it like sound like a broken record, but in the preseason he showed that all of that has paid off so far in terms of where he's at mentally to be able to come back and deliver the expectations that we now expect from him.
2 games in the opening weekend for Brisbane. They'll be back here next Friday to open the NBL 22 season against the Jack Jumpers here at the newly refurbished and outstanding MyState Bank Arena. Sold out that game. Good luck trying to get a ticket in the first few Jack Jumpers games. The Tassie basketball fans have flocked to the ticket sales, and then on Sunday, doesn't get much easier. They've got Tassie first up, where there's going to be so much emotion in the venue. And then on Sunday, Brisbane jump on a plane and play in the jungle against Perth.
I can't wait.
It's a tough opening weekend.
I mean, we're getting excited for opening night. I'm sure the players are as well. But it's a good way to start. You get one of those or both of those, and all of a sudden you're feeling really good about themselves. Coming up against Tasmania's Big Lou. That's what he does best. Gets on the offensive glass and finishes. You tick that one off. You managed to get a win over what's going to be a really energetic Tasmanian Jack Jumpers outfit on opening night. And then you go and play against the Wildcats roster that's got to work a few things out as expected. Good knockdown from Sunday Detch. You start your season off on the right note, and that's what the Brisbane Bullets will be looking to do.
It's Kadee back out there. Got Brisbane going early. Travelled that time.
Been a few of these
Even
called.
the veterans still travel.
Well, there's been a few of these called in the Blitz, to be honest. Referees are hot on that. The little jab and shuffle. Jason Kadee trying to ask what's happened. No coaches challenge yet. I'm not sure. Can we coaches challenge a travel? I'm assuming we can coaches challenge most things this season.
I think so, yeah.
As long as it's the right one. You wouldn't do it with a minute 20 to go in the first quarter probably, but...
Nice rebound, Nick Marshall. As Pete said, Tad Duffelmeyer into the game. Might be one of the savviest and sneakiest recruits of the off-season. Really developing his game at both ends of the floor. Detch off target. Gatorna couldn't tip it in. Strong rebound by Max McKinnon. Salt sets the pick up high for McKinnon. It was a good one too. He took it at Withers, and Salt misses the follow-up.
Withers has done that well to start this game. Just the ability to wall up without fouling. Put his hand in the cookie jar early. Got called for the foul, but since then has been really good. It's Marshall, tees one up. Knocks that down. The confidence player. Comes in, and when he's open, he's not afraid to let it fly.
Just adding to the depth that CJ Bruton's going to have at his disposal in his first season as coach. As the Bullets lose possession late in the quarter.
The Bullets started well and just plateaued a little bit here, and the Sixers are starting to find a little bit of offense with the guys coming off the bench.
Plenty of time for the 36ers. Duffelmeyer threw it up. Marshall couldn't finish it off. Quarter time at MyState Bank Arena. It actually doesn't look that bad for the Adelaide 36ers. 17-10. But at one stage, though, the Bullets had that lead well into double figures.
Yeah, they did. And the offense was struggling for the Sixers. It was all through Daniel Johnson until he went out. And CJ Bruton brought in some energy off the bench and worked out, and they've got some stops on the defensive end too.
So Melbourne and Southeast Melbourne coming later on. You can see some of the shooting percentages, not overly flattering for either team, it's got to be said, in the first quarter. What's your, Pete, I think now that we've seen enough of everyone, what's your expectation on the 36ers now? They seem to be the biggest unknown, I think, of the entire competition.
Well, they do, and I was high on them when they started putting their roster together, just because you look at the pieces and it's all about culture and certain fits around the league. And you've got Mitch McCarron, who's become one of the best Australian point guards we have, leading the show. Daniel Johnson is Daniel Johnson. He's going to come in, going to get his spots, put up some points. Isaac Humphries, if he can stay healthy and get back to somewhere close to where he was last year, will make them tough. Haven't seen enough of Kai Sotto, obviously, with his injuries and being rested right now. But then you add the likes of Duffelmeyer, Mojave King, Dusty Hanners looks exciting. Withers started to show a bit. And once they start to click and they get things down the way they CJ Bruton wants, they're going to be a tough beat. They always seem to play well at home. That's the Adelaide way. They play well, they build that fortress, the entertainment centre. But that's why I think it would have been great to have the majority of the roster available throughout the Blitz to get that continuity getting ready for the season, where you have the guys who are going to play in the season around 30 to 33 minutes. You can probably bring that down to maybe 25 in the Blitz, but have everybody in a similar role to how they will be in the season. That's so important, and it'll be interesting to see how they start the regular season from here.
He's going to torch some teams this season, Dusty Hannahs. 19 points in games 3 and 4 of the Blitz. We mentioned his performance on Friday against Perth. He's going to have some nights where he can't miss.
Well, what's only going to help him is being in the right situation. Isaac Humphries, Daniel Johnson, the amount of attention they draw when you roll the ball into them, even pick and rolls, pick and pops. You're either going to give up a layup or a 3 to Daniel Johnson, or you're going to come across to help and you're going to leave Dusty Hannahs wide open. And I'll tell you what, Mitch McCarron's going to find the right option. So I might be all in on the Mitch McCarron leading the assist train. You think about that offensive setup, and if they get it right, they're going to be a really tough beat if they get the right plays, the people in the right spots, knocking down shots.
So they're a potential finalist in your mind?
I think they are for sure. I think once they get everything down, we know how it's going to be. Good pass from Mitch McCarron. Withers just gets hung up. I mean, everyone's a potential finalist, what we've seen.
That is true.
Flashes of how competitive this season's going to be in NBL 22.
McCarron, Dufelmeyer, Marshall, King, Withers on the floor for Adelaide. Kadee, Krebs, Digbo, Salt and Deng for Brisbane. Nice spin from McCarron and finish off the window.
That's what he can do. He always loves to get down to the post and take some smaller guards to the hole.
Cuts it back to a 5-point deficit. At one stage, it was looking pretty nasty. They were down 12 midway through the first quarter. Turnovers really starting to creep into their game. And I think there's a direct correlation between Brisbane's turnovers and Adelaide getting back within 5 points.
Jason Kadee, the only real veteran out there for the Bullets on the whole roster tonight with guys resting. You've got Tom Digbo, next star, trying to find his feet in the league as well as just the Bullets team. Deng trying to find his opportunities as well. Salt and Tanner Krebs. It's a good knockdown there from Nick Marshall.
He's growing in confidence with every game we see him. Really talented young junior footballer, Nick Marshall, who had a decision to make. That's a win for basketball.
There's 3 fouls on Mojave King, and you see the frustration. Putting the hands on the head because he knows with so many guys out, this is a chance for him to show what he can do, that he showed flashes as Tanner Krebs knocks one down from outside.
There's another that's enjoyed some increased minutes during the Blitz, Tanner Krebs. Local boy, born in Hobart. Just lost Marshall defensively that time. Doesn't get it to drop. Digbo goes to his left. Withers didn't overcommit. That pass, a tough one for Salt to handle. McCarron saw it coming. In the open floor, works together with King. Was chopped on the arms by Tanner Krebs.
We see Mitch McCarron a lot of the time. We're expecting him to just set up the offense, do his thing on the offensive end, but we're forgetting this man can be a lockdown defender on any given night. Made the good play, good read, come from behind that post up. His hand on that.
So free throws for another of the NBL's next stars, Mojave King. Played 30 games last year with Cairns.
The old veteran play there. Know you're about to sub out with your 3 fouls. Just give yourself another chance to get a possession. That's an offensive foul, yeah. Jack Soul just too overzealous. On the screen, Mitch McCarron trying to fight over.
That seems to be another one, Pete, in the off-season. We have seen during the Blitz a lot more fouls called in that situation with the player setting the pick. If everything doesn't line up in a straight line, they're called for the foul.
We saw last year the emphasis on the handoff where you turn and use your backside to bump the players off on the defending guard. That got called a lot, but this year you're right. It is that little bit of a lean, not so much set as we probably had another one there on Daniel Johnson. But that's the one that's being called an awful lot, and it's good. You don't want them to get disadvantaged when they're playing solid defense.
Marshall's hands were slick. Adelaide 1-on-3 up ahead, and he lays it up, Marshall. Rewarded for his work at one end with a bucket at the other. He's got 7 points.
And this is why the blitz is important for a guy like Nick Marshall, because you're not sure whether you have minutes in the regular season to start with. Little travel there from McKinnon. He's not happy with it. Looked like a good call, but once things get set, everybody's healthy. But what you want to do is give CJ Bruton and the coaching staff that little bit of trust factor of it. Hey, if someone gets injured, someone gets in foul trouble, we can throw you out there. We know what you're going to give us. I trust you to come out there and give us some solid minutes if required. That's crucial for someone trying to break into the league.
Nice pass, McCarron. As Krebs fouls Sunday Detch on the way through. .36's ball from the baseline. It's really been one-way traffic since midway through this first quarter. As I mentioned, the lead was 12 for Brisbane at one stage.
Brisbane were leading the cup by 1 point going into this one, correct? So they got another point after the first quarter. The way the 36ers have shown us in the blitz, are we heading for a countback?
We are, possibly.
If Sunday Detch knocks down that one, if the Bullets win the first 3 quarters and the Sixers come across at the end, that'll mean the Bullets, it'll be a tie. It'll be a countback.
Yep. Speaking of ties, that's where we are at 20. McCarron loses the handle. Good crowd in today as well. This has really been such a great opportunity for basketball fans across Tasmania, not just here at MyState Bank Arena in Hobart, but we've seen a number of games played in Ulverston, a couple of games played in Launceston also. Blitz has been on the road. We were due to play a couple of games at the Wynn Entertainment Centre. Jack Salt fouled.
I say I was just locked in on the little sponsor sign from Great Hungry Jacks. And buy 4 coffees, get the 5th one free. That's a bargain.
Well, if there's any man that knows a bargain, it's you.
Well,
knows coffee and knows bargains. They are 2 of your strengths.
Best coffee's a free coffee, obviously, but when you earn it, and a lot of places will do, you buy 9, get 10 free or something. So that's a ripper.
Have to get yourself a card of some sort, Pete. Bit of sponsors product.
That'd be nice.
Kadee, this time with the left hand, gets it to go. Bullets out by 2.
Much needed bucket for the Bullets. It's dried up a bit. And the great stat man coming into this game has enlightened us with the Bullets. You know how well their preseason's been. Daniel Johnson, that's too easy. Before this game, they were shooting 71% from the 2-point field goal area and 60% overall.
It's remarkable.
It's ridiculous. And that shows you, if you're shooting that well, you're going to be winning a lot of games, at least putting yourself in with a chance to win. Take from Wigness there, but a lot come down for the shots that everyone was getting from Lamar Patterson and Nathan Sobey. But that is 60% from the field as a team over 3 games.
Daniel Johnson steps into his 3 ball, gives the 36ers the lead. Kadee early in the offense misses out. Sunday Detch off to the races. And Marshall spots up and is no good. See the Bullets shooting percentages in the bottom part of your screen. It's Kadee from deep.
I'm not sure what the scout is. If Nick Marshall had to have made a mistake there, you don't go under Jason Kadee anywhere on the floor, especially with guys out. He's got a green light to get him up. Mitch McCarron tries to answer back and does so very nicely. Mitch McCarron is selective on his offense, as we've said, over the last couple of years, just truly making that point guard role his. You cannot go under Jason Kadee.
Nice crossover, dang, but Isaac Gatorna not out of it. Followed him through and knocks it out of play.
Looked like he got beat there. Really good recovery. Good timing on that.
Salt comes out. Deng Deng and Tanner Krebs also coming out. Shuan Xinglu got to his right hand and then stepped through that. Gets up for the dunk.
Well, it looked like he was out of control a bit, but again, we talk about Lamar Patterson being a nice surprise this preseason. Big Lou has been outstanding. The way he moves for his height and size is incredible.
Bullets lead it by 1. Tamaru Wigness pounces on that loose ball. He goes from one end to the other. It's a little wild. Sunday Detch looks to be a bit sore.
He copped a bit of a corky there from a screen from Big Lou. His work rate to get out there and set those massive screens. And
Wigness with a high arcing 3. It drops and the Bullets are enjoying a purple patch here in the last few minutes. They lead it by 4. CJ Bruton wants to have a chat about it with 3:22 to play before half time.
we've got 11 turnovers, the Bullets, and that's just too many. This is the play from Big Lou. Patience. Daniel Johnson thought he might have been going to the fadeaway. He's shown a bit of a touch from that mid-range in some games. But Wigness, that's going to help his confidence from outside. All the team's going to let him shoot that. I want to have that open 3 ball. Knock down a couple, then we might think about changing it.
So Adelaide 36ers to start their season. We spoke about a tough opening weekend for Brisbane. It's equally as tough for the 36ers. They will go to Perth and play on the opening night, second game of our opening night doubleheader against the Wildcats, and then on Sunday they'll be at home to take on the Illawarra Hawks. At this stage, there's a bit to play out when it comes to Illawarra, but at this stage, Adelaide and Illawarra is slated for Sunday afternoon at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre.
I just hope that all that can sort out, and the NBL working hard to make sure that all the state officials and everybody necessary to figure out the best way to attack it. It is unfortunate, again, which team is going to handle adversity the best. Every team is going to have to face it. We know what New Zealand's doing to start the season. Did it last year. Perth, albeit was originally going to have that little stretch away from home. So everyone's going to have to deal with those disruptions. Which team handles it the best is going to be crucial. But again, Adelaide playing Perth that Friday night. You want to play Perth early.
Yeah.
They've got growing pains to get through. New coach, new system, who came late already. So you start that behind the 8 ball. Mike Kelly was there setting everything up, but it's still not the same as having a head coach there. Michael Frazier's picked up a little groin injury, I believe, so trying to get him working into it. Good to see Bryce Cotton back, Vic Law, but they've got some growing pains to get through. You'd much rather tick off as many games against the Wildcats as you can early, even if it's in the jungle, then find them. Maybe I've got 3 games to get against Perth in the back half of the year.
I think that's a fair call. As we say, still more to come on that. McCarron, no look dime for Isaac Gatorna.
Mitch McCarron. He's been finding everybody in this one. I think listed for 2 assists, which is, I've counted about 5, and I've counted about 4 others that have missed some bunnies. Good pass there from Lou to Samuel down low.
Bullets lead by 4. Johnson left wide open. The way he's been shooting the ball in the NBL Blitz.
Well, this is the kind of game, if you're James Duncan, if you had your full cohort, you think about when to throw Big Lou out there, because his work rate is fantastic, but to be able to get out to the pick and pop guys like a Daniel Johnson, as I say, nearly comes up with a steal there himself. It's going to be hard to protect the paint, what he does down low. But to have to do that as well as get out to a shooter like Daniel Johnson is going to be a hard task.
So not playing today for Adelaide, Isaac Humphries, Dusty Hanners, Cam Bairstow, Manny Malou and Kai Soto. What role do you see Cam Bairstow playing, Pete? In the last game, he started 12-4. He's had a 17-8 game in the Blitz as well. Nice pass from McCarron for Johnson. Where does he fit in amongst this jungle of big men that the 36ers have got.
Well, he's that real trustworthy veteran piece. A lot of it will be before games, after games, in terms of getting other guys set, but just someone that CJ Bruton can trust the guy out there, play solid defense. Could he tease one up? That's short. Go out there and just change. If there's injuries, we know Isaac Humphries, what he's coming back off. If there's foul trouble, a nice veteran addition to the roster.
McCarron, beautiful pass for Todd Withers.
This is
He's
why,
finding open men all over the floor, the Adelaide captain.
this is why it's a massive signing, isn't it? Mitch McCarron. And going to 4 assists now. Definitely about 7, and he should have at least 11 with all the easy ones that some players have missed. Always looking to get everybody else involved first. Hunt his shot next.
So go back to what we were talking about with Cam Bairstow. We'll take a look at some of the second quarter highlights. Do they start? So it's Johnson and Humphries in the starting 5, and then Bairstow, Soto rolling off the bench, or do you look at another type of rotation?
No, I think that would be ideally the way they want to start. For sure, and just grow from there, and then maybe different matchups that works well. Because the big question mark before last season was, a lot of people, myself included, thought there's no way you can have Daniel Johnson and Isaac Humphries work well together. It's just not the way. They're big players, what they do, and they all proved us wrong. And if you say, oh no, I knew they were going to be a perfect fit, you're lying. Because it just didn't look like on paper it was going to work. The way Daniel Johnson plays versus Isaac Humphries, Josh Giddey helped a lot with the way he went about it. Now you bring in Mitch McCarron, who plays a lot similar to Josh Giddey in terms of getting everybody the rock at the right time. But they were outstanding together. The pick and pop games, the high lows, the way they worked well was outstanding. So you want to get back to that. That was what made them a really tough unit.
So a little over a minute left before half-time. As soon as we finish up this one, we head to Melbourne and to Parkville, where Melbourne United and Southeast Melbourne Phoenix will do battle in a little mini pre-season throwdown. Nice finish there from Tane Samuel. Edge for 3 off the side. But this game is, of course, for the Loggins Bruton Cup. Quite fitting that Brisbane are in the final of the Loggins Bruton Cup. Leroy, one of the greatest players that we've ever seen in this league. And CJ coaching.
Well, it's great, isn't it? It's exactly how it should be written, but we're not going to see a tie after all with the Sixers winning this quarter. We're going to have a winner. Turnover there from Sunday Jets. Spent it before he had it. I'm not sure in terms of player of the Blitz. Think about who would stand out as.
Yeah.
I'm not sure of the current leaderboard or how that is. I'm trying to think of.
We're not privileged with that information, mainly because we can't be trusted to keep a secret, you and I.
Or count.
Or count.
Yep. But if I have to think of certain guys who have put their hand up, Vic Law's had a nice blitz.
He has.
For the Wildcats.
Yep.
What a great signing that is.
Mitch Creeks played some good games.
Missed out. It would have had one more guy, that little ankle injury which he sat out. We haven't seen the Hawks, obviously, with the COVID situation, which is just such bad timing with all the tickets sold, and what they've put together. It's an exciting time for Wollongong.
I think from a Sydney point of view, Jarrell Martin's had a really good pre-season tournament.
He has. And again, the Kings, another team that comes with an excitement factor. We just haven't seen it with everybody healthy, as Dickbo tries to get one on the halftime siren, no good.
So at the main break at MyState Bank Arena, the Adelaide 36ers have clawed their way to the front, and they lead it by 1, 37-36. Two teams with very different lineups today to what it's going to look like when the regular season starts next Friday. But Adelaide 12 down midway through the first quarter. They win the second term 27-19. They take a point on the NBL Blitz ladder. And Halls, they've just been patient. They've clawed their way back from where they were.
Well, it's no surprise it was Mitch McCarron leading the way there, getting everybody involved. Had a bit of offensive spurt himself. But they did well. Whether the Stormers, their bench at the end of the first quarter, that kind of slowed the Bullets down and ticked it over their scoreboard as well. But it's been scrappy overall from both teams. And that's what you're going to expect. You take out key pieces on both sides and younger guys getting the opportunity. You're going to have a bit of basketball like this for at least the first half.
Jason Cadee, the leading scorer for Brisbane. He has 10. Tanner Krebs starting today. Has played with good energy. Only played 8.5 minutes, but has 8 points to his name on 3 of 4 shooting. And scoring spread around after that for the Adelaide 36ers. Daniel Johnson has 12 points on 5 of 8. Sunday Detch, 8 points. Nick Marshall has provided some punch off the bench with 7. And Mitch McCarron credited with 5 dimes. Although, Pete, you're thinking that looks more like 7 or 8.
Oh, it's been more than that, I think. And we had a couple of issues with that last year. But it's Mitch McCarron, because, you know, I guess he doesn't look like the way he's going to try and get everybody involved. But those are the passes he has. Always surveying the floor. An outstanding floor general of guys you wouldn't think he's seen who are open. He will make sure they have the ball. I had to pick someone who I think will lead the assist. Majen will be up there, but Mitch McCarron will not be far off.
It's Todd Withers. I see his only points of the opening half as well. Here's some of the major statistics. A short break from us here at My State Bank Arena. We're back with the second half on the final day of the NBL Blitz very shortly on KO Freebies.
It's time to view the sting. Head to jackjumpers.com.au/membership to secure your seats as we prepare to make history. Don't forget, you can get your Jack Jumpers inaugural season jersey today by visiting the Jack Jumpers merchandise outlet located in the foyer here at My State Bank Arena. Or purchase online at shop.jackjumpers.com.au to make sure you don't miss out. And with the start of the 21-22 NBL season not far away, with the Jack Jumpers scheduled to kick off the season right here at My State Bank Arena this Friday night, the 3rd of December. Scan the QR code on the big screen now to sign up to the Tasmania Jack Jumpers newsletter. That way you won't miss any of the action. And let's welcome back your resident DJs, the Copy Crew.
We'll race anything around here. Even the odd penny farthing.
Great to have your company on KO Freebies. It's half-time in the decider of the Loggins Bruton Cup, the Adelaide 36ers and the Brisbane Bullets. 36ers lead it by 1, 37-36, and still to come. Later on this afternoon, we go to Parkville in Melbourne for Melbourne United taking on the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. We'll have those final teams for you a little bit later on. If you have just joined us for the Bullets today, Nathan Sobey, Anthony Drimmick, Lamar Patterson, Terrell Harrison and Robert Franks all not playing, being rested. For the 36ers, Isaac Humphries, Dusty Hanners, Cam Bairstow, Manny Malou and Kai Soto all being rested. Give us one player from each team Pete, who's caught your eye?
In this one?
Yeah.
Well, Mitch McCarron, just for his passing ability, finding everybody in certain times. And I love that they're still out here, Mitch McCarron, Daniel Johnson in the second half. Going at it, I think it's been outstanding, and I'm really excited to see how he fits. Just he takes another leap forward in that point guard role. And for the Bullets, Tanner Krebs has been good. Talk about someone who's going to need to have that consistent performance and have James Duncan think, I can trust you to throw you out there, because there's going to be that fight for minutes in the guard spot. We haven't seen Isaiah Moss yet. But luckily, I think James Duncan has that potential of playing small ball, which the Bullets did under Andre Lamanis, but throwing Robert Franks at the 5, Lamar Patterson even at the 4, and then running guys like Drimit Kadee, Sobey, figuring that out. So there's going to be plenty of different lineups to work with for James Duncan. But Tanner Krebs has been good in the first half.
My State Bank Arena, the beautifully new and refurbished My State Bank Arena, right on the bank of the Derwent.
The Nest, I think we're going with.
The Nest, yeah. So last time we were together for a game at My State Bank Arena, we raised this question. And, of course, NBL fans are some of the most observant and smartest in all the sports. They pulled us up pretty quickly on Twitter, Pete.
I like the Nest. I'm a big fan. Me and Santa Maria thought he was going to go with the anthill, which I didn't mind either. I was all in on that. There's Mitch McCarron's pass to Daniel Johnson. Daniel Johnson's going to have a field day with playing alongside him. But I'm all in on the Nest, I reckon.
I like the Nest. It's going to be absolutely jam-packed on Friday night for the season opener. Jack Jumpers just have a couple of injury concerns of their own. Clint Steinle, a dislocated finger in their last game. Get an update on his availability in the next day or two. The shining light, though, from a Tassie perspective, Pete, obviously their imports look great, but the little that we've seen of Will Magnay, it looks pretty good.
Well, it's just about getting his conditioning as Tom Digbo straight down the lane. The athleticism, quick first step of Digbo. That's what it's about now. Will Magnay coming off that injury, just to get that conditioning back so he can really solidify himself. Ideally, playing around 30 minutes a game would be great for him where he wants to get to. Watched a little bit of him in the interview during media day that he said, Scott Ross said, look, we want you, we'll have you for a year and then see you later. So we want you in the NBA. So that's the plan, is to get him here, playing big minutes, having a big role, and go back to America. So that's what you want to hear. Young guy, we know what he's been through. He had the little taste of it, came back from the Wildcats, signing with the Wildcats. Not in, I'm sure, the best. He was very strong.
He certainly was.
Been in the weight room, but didn't translate on the court. Now he looks really good, agile, moving well, playing with confidence. So I don't see any reason why he can't have another breakout year. And we have seen, that you can be in the conversation to win most improved player more than once.
Yeah.
And we've seen it in some strange scenarios over the last few seasons, and I know it's very early, but we like going with some ridiculous calls. As Tanner Krebs continues his hot start from the first half.
Into double figures now, the Hobart local. 11 points on 4 of 6 shooting. Mojave King up top is short. It's Kadee trying to get to work on deck. Mojave King got a piece of that one and pushes the issue. Withers misses from close range. Jack Salt pulls down another rebound. He's showed some good signs in this outing. It's Tom Digbo. Looks like he's really got the word from James Duncan in the second half to get aggressive.
Well, he hasn't. A really good balance from him. He took the bump from Withers and finished with the left. That's what you want to see, and that's what he can do. He's going to be an excitement machine, just a little X factor. James Duncan can throw out there and see if he can turn a game with some big plays. Good, that's a strong take from Withers. It's a way to answer back.
So we were talking about Humphreys and Johnson working together before, Pete. What would the most likely starting 5 be for Adelaide on Friday night against Perth?
Because it's Perth, now I've just thought about, because you're going to have Mitch McCarron, Dusty Hannes.
So Hannes will start?
Hannes, you'd think will start.
So Sunday Detch off the bench.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? When you got a Bryce Cotton, who's going to go to him? But teams can't guard Bryce Cotton this year the way they have potentially last year. We talk about the Wildcats roster. Michael Fraser's there, Vic Law. You can't all of a sudden box and one, double team Bryce every single time. He's too good of a passer, and other guys are now going to be able to make some big plays away from the ball.
Vic Law looks outstanding.
Doesn't he?
It's got to be said. We talk about players of the pre-season. Vic Law's been brilliant.
He has. It's a perfect fit for him to play alongside Bryce Cotton, and he seems stoked at where he's at to be there over in the West. So
McCarron, Hannahs. There's a spot there. If we think
there is, and that's going to be the key in.
Nice rebound. Jack Salt puts it back in.
Because if you're going to match up alongside those bigger wings, a lot of it might depend on see what happens Perth news-wise. If Michael Fraser's going to play a bigger wing, but
could they start with 3 guards? Could
might.
they go with Hannahs, McCarron, and Detch?
There might be somewhere they look that could be in the future of what they want to get to. No doubt about it. Annie Malou is that bigger wing to be able to bring some athleticism and size to that. If Mitch McCarron can guard up. You talk about that. That's a good take there from Withers. Right through the chest from Jack Salt. If Mitch McCarron can guard a Michael Fraser type wing, even if Vic Law comes down, you can put Mitch McCarron on him to be happy with that. So that's probably not going to be the big worry, and it's going to be a stark difference of having the 2 big boys, and then 3 little guards. You don't really have the middle pieces, but Mitch McCarron's a great rebounder as well. So he's kind of got that role that you can play different positions on both ends, whatever CJ Bruton needs. But a little couple of pieces to work with, and I think we're only really locked in 3.5 certain starters there.
He's got plenty of options at his disposal. CJ Bruton, first time head coach in this league. Mojave King up the floor. It's fouled by Salt. And with the way that they've managed their minutes across the Blitz, Pete, that's why I posed the question, because we haven't really seen a pattern at any stage from CJ Bruton. Other teams have gone with their starting 5 and then backed them off in the second half, whereas Adelaide have tended to rotate their players from games in and out.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Kai Soto played the first game, started, and then we haven't seen him since. So there's just been certain pieces there, and I'm sure that's a bit of CJ Bruton thinking, I'm coming into a new team here. I've got a bunch of new guys. Bring back DJ, Isaac Humphries, Sunday Detch, but we've got new guys around. I want to see what all these pieces fit. Let me just throw everything out there.
Yep.
And then we've got a few days before round 1, and I'm sure they'll keep tinkering with it as they go. See a lot of teams do that until they find something that really clicks, but I'm sure a lot of the last couple games is CJ Bruton thinking we've got off to slow starts, and he's trying to change something and they're still getting off to slow starts. That's a charge. Marshall a bit out of control there. Good take from Jason Kadee. As you said, you go over to Perth to play the Wildcats. Good time to play the Wildcats, no doubt, but you can't start slow in the jungle.
No.
That's not when that place is going to be rocking.
No, that's whoever starts, you're absolutely spot on. That's going to be their biggest issue. If they drop another start like they did today, or have done during the Blitz, might be a bridge too far. Tane Samuel passes up the 3. Back to the basket on Withers. Shot clock at 7. Got into the paint and gets it to drop.
This is another one that potentially is maybe slide down to that 3. If you want a bigger wing, try to play alongside. I'm sure they'd like to keep him in just different roles, and it's all about who will be healthy again for the Sixers. That's going to be the first question. And all those, what we see from the Perth, how they match up alongside each other. Perth having a lot of small guards outside of those bigger wings, so might be a little bit of mind games leading into round 1.
Yeah. Samuel this time steps into the 3 ball. Nick Marshall bringing the ball up the floor. He's had another good game today, has 7 points. A couple of rebounds to go with it. McCarron from deep. There's Marshall. Crashes the offensive rebound. This time Withers from up the top of the key.
So what they were trying to do there, the Sixers, really trying to isolate Big Lou. He had the mismatch twice. They didn't attack him. Mitch McCarron settled for a 3. He does move well for his size, no doubt, as we've said, but just settling for a contested 3. And Jason Kadee tries to pick up a foul. Quick trigger. Comes with it straight out of bounds. And Withers settled again straight after off the offensive rebound.
You can see there Max McKinnon, number 9 for the Brisbane Bullets. Sub back into the game. His father Sam, the general manager of the Bullets organisation, also just happens to be one of the most iconic names of the 90s and early 2000s in the NBL.
We'll be very happy. A good pass. Oh my goodness!
Todd Withers with authority.
Oh my goodness! That's what the Sixers fans want to see. Up on Big Lou. Goodness gracious.
Now the offensive foul going against the Bullets.
Well, the big fella's going to be down there. That's one way to beat him to it. Just go up and over him.
Ultra aggressive, Todd Withers. Tad Dufelmeyer sub back in. Only played the 7 minutes in the opening half. Withers available at the top of the key. Offensive rebound for Mitch McCarron. 3.5 minutes to play. McCarron, nice pass for Todd Withers, who's crunched by Shuan Ching Lu.
Well, Lou tried to get his revenge. Not happy with the call. That's where you want him. Contesting, it doesn't matter. You get dunked on or whatever, you go straight back up and try and contest. Withers having a bit of a laugh there to him.
Didn't play the first couple of games just through load management. Spent the 2019 Summer League, Todd Withers with the Detroit Pistons. He's working his way into this game now.
Well, he has the last couple of games, showing the Sixers fans what they can expect. Good pass there from Dickbo, but a couple of times these newer guys for the Bullets just got to throw it up to the big guy. Don't let him go down to his ankles. He get a long way down. Throw it up, let him catch it and go to work.
Dufelmeyer down to Withers. Samuel stood his ground. Was called for the foul eventually. Withers back on the free throw line.
Those look much more aggressive, Withers, in this second half. None bigger than that dunk down the lane.
Phoenix and Melbourne United are up next. We've just got the team sheets in for both, and they look to be pretty close to full strength. Just looking for any notable outs. Dane Pineau will play by the looks of things. Mitch Creek listed, Ryan Brokoff listed.
Well, it's an early taste of what we're going to get early in the season as well, so both coaches, Simon Mitchell and Dean Vickerman, will keep a little bit up their sleeves. Don't want to give away too much, but also Dean Vickerman loves to get those last preseason games as close to normal as possible. You know, you do play the Phoenix pretty early in the first.
Yeah, round 2, they play each other.
First couple of weeks, so you don't want to give away too much, but again, we haven't seen Melbourne play their rotations anywhere near like they will be in the regular season. So I'm looking forward to that hit out.
Yeah, just having a quick sweep of that team sheet. No notable outs for either team, so going in minutes dependent, of course, but look to be going in at full strength. Marshall gave a push off. The foul's been called on Tanner Krebs.
James Duncan didn't like it, but I thought maybe Tanner Krebs went down just a little too easy. There wasn't a whole lot of aggressiveness on that drive from Marshall. James Duncan didn't like it. He might have been there, but didn't get hit enough. He's getting told to calm down. James Duncan is a bit animated.
Speaking of good news, Perth Wildcats, Peter, short time ago, is announcing on social media they have 75 memberships left until they are sold out for the season. And you think about the support of Western Australian basketball fans in the off-season, change of coach, change in ownership, change in most of their roster. That hasn't deterred fans one little bit. And to go with it, the potentials. Mojave King for 3 short, Marshall offensive rebound. The potential for them to be on the road for a pretty long period of time too.
Well, they're going to be bookended with home games from what we see right now. There's still a lot to play up at start of the season, end of the season. But again, history would show you're signing up for a finals run. So then why not?
Yeah.
With 35 years of it, you're probably thinking, all right, well, if I haven't been on board for 35 years, this year's the year. But then again, if you're the first time member, you don't want to be that guy who signs up for the first time and breaks the streak.
The Red Army will find that person.
They will.
Hold them personally responsible. Timeout with 2 minutes left before three-quarter time. It is such a monumental announcement for the Wildcats organisation, and they will sell those remaining 75. It wouldn't shock me if they were gone in the next 24 hours, to be honest. See Dusty Hannah's there at the front of screen talking to Daniel Johnson. In the 36ers timeout, Cam Bairstow at the back, not playing today as well. And Isaac Humphries, we can't miss Isaac Humphries, the big man with the voice of an angel. And on the Bullets bench, a host of their best players not playing today. Sobey, Drimmick, Patterson, Harrison, Franks. There's every chance that's their starting lineup for the first game.
Took the words out of my mouth. Well, I think that will be. So their entire starting lineup sitting this one out.
Samuel McKinnon, Digbo, Lou out on the floor with Tanner Krebs for Brisbane right now. That pass going astray. Marshall Gatorna with us. Tad Dufelmeyer and Mojave King, the 5 for Adelaide right now. What does Mojave King need to do this season? Pete mentioned the 30 games that he played. We saw in the last game of the season he had 25 and that was by far his best performance for the Taipans. But for him to become an NBA player, which is his aspiration, what does he need to be doing this season?
Well, that's the first thing there, taking those shots with confidence, obviously knocking them down, but confidence was a big thing from him last year and didn't work his way into the rotation unless there were some injuries for the Taipans, and was very inconsistent as McKinnon tees one up, knocks it down. But he's got to play with that confidence and take a lot of pressure off himself. He's got another chance here, so it's not like last year completely ruined his chance. He's got plenty of upside. He's such an exciting talent. We've seen when he's on and going, there's no reason why he can't take that next step. But it's putting all that pressure to the side, just going out there playing loose, having fun with it, and trusting that you're in the right environment to do that. CJ Bruton is going to give you the opportunity to do it. Just go out there, play your game, learn from a guy like Mitch McCarron in that guard role, and just slowly take small steps. It's not going to happen. You're not going to all of a sudden bounce straight up the draft boards in 2 weeks. It's going to be something that comes along throughout the course of the season, so just trust the process.
What about at the other end of the floor?
He can be a really disruptive defender, no doubt about it. That's something that I was saying in the preseason, that in the little show we recorded, is he has the ability to be a really good defender. Moves his feet well. We know how quick he is. Got real long wingspan. Can be disruptive, especially in the passing lanes. And once he does that, it helps his game in the offensive end, because in transition is where he's arguably at his best. That comes with, if he can be a bit of a defensive stopper, CJ Bruin will have more confidence to throw him out there. And if he can just start to focus a little bit about that, the rest of his game will open up, and it will take a lot of pressure on. Maybe I haven't scored in a couple minutes, but if I'm getting some stops or I'm locking someone up, that'll get noticed. That'll draw some hype, and then the rest of your game will start to show from there.
Nice drive by Nick Marshall. Showing aggression. Turned down a stack of NCAA offers. Mojave King chose to turn pro instead. We've seen him at his best. We've seen some really good signs from this young man. We've mentioned his name a few times today. Nick Marshall. Makes both. He has 9 points. And 8 rebounds as well.
Well, he's been active on the glass. Another athlete. Someone who's just really taken every single chance he's had in the preseason.
50 apiece. Shot clock switched off. Down to 6. Tanner Krebs sees a path to the basket and scores. Good way to finish off the quarter for Brisbane. Withers got his shot away, but he's unsuccessful. And the Bullets lead it by 2 and win the quarter. Just to add a little extra intrigue to the Loggins-Bruton Cup.
It was another scrappy half. It's been a quarter there. It's been a scrappy game. You know, it was always going to happen with so many key pieces out, but Tanner Krebs, someone who's really enjoying the extra minutes here and the extra time with the ball in his hands, making the plays. There's been a lot of turnovers. 18 turnovers for the Bullets, which is way too many, and we're only 3 quarters into this one.
Some of the third quarter highlights. Tom Digbo started the third quarter well and looked as if he was going to be the man to take over, but Adelaide managed to quell his influence. Tanner Krebs, the leading scorer for Brisbane with 13 points.
Yeah, as I said, he's got the opportunity out there now. Jason Kadee was kind of that main guy to start with, and he didn't play a whole lot. They're starting to rest him as he is coming back from a little bit of illness. And you see the rebounds, the steals from the Sixers. That's highlighted by the turnovers on both ends. There's 18 turnovers for the Bullets. Leading scorers there: Tanner Krebs, Kadee, Samuel, Nick Marshall, Daniel Johnson. It's been a slow game, this one.
Still up for grabs with a quarter remaining. So the ladder for the NBL Blitz, as it stands, coming into this game, Brisbane had won 10.5 of their quarters. Adelaide had won 8.5. So with Brisbane winning 2 of the 3 quarters, that might just about be enough. But the 36ers have got one last chance. Isaac Gatorna starting the last quarter. One of the development players for the 36ers. Here he is, relocating to the corner. Just off target. Offensive rebound from Withers. Duffelmeyer well short.
Give the credit there to Mojave King for keeping that rebound alive. They're the kind of plays that's going to help that confidence. Got the 4 fouls. He's skied in to keep that possession.
Tane Samuel spots up. Jack Salt there to put it back in.
Those are the plays Jack Salt's going to have to do to get himself into that consistent minutes that James Duncan needs.
Todd Withers under pressure finishes off. Looks to be a bit sore as he gets up also. That's the last thing that any team needs today. And I include the 2 to come, Pete. No one wants an injury on the last day of the NBL Blitz.
Absolutely not. I mean, that's why you see the Bullets resting their whole starting lineup, and CJ Bruton knowing he's still want to make sure they finish off. A nice undefeated blitz would be great.
Nice pick and roll play. Salt misses a bunny from underneath.
Mitch McCarron and Daniel Johnson come to the scorer's bench ready to check in.
Duffelmeyer got past Deng and got past Samuel. Lays it up.
That Duffelmeyer's been quiet today. Hasn't played a whole lot. It's Deng tries to gets it back. That's long. Nick Marshall skying in for another rebound, but with that Duffelmeyer playing those backup minutes, it's going to give Mojave King more of the chance away from the ball handling. We see him a lot. He's a combo guard, but now really settle into a wing, try and be a catch and shoot guy. As Todd Withers is, you're right, a bit ginger walking off.
For the first time today, Lachlan Olbrich comes in. Nick Marshall comes to the bench. He's probably entitled to ask CJ Bruton why. He's one rebound off a double-double.
Well, there's still 8 minutes left, so I reckon we'll see him again. Nick Marshall. Daniel Johnson just trying to get the crowd involved. There's a bullet extra pass to Mitch McCarron. I think you'll might see McCarron and Johnson playing a little 3-4 minute stretch here, and seeing what happens might come out of it in the end.
Kadee guarded by McCarron. Tatane Samuel burrowed his way into the lane and misses from close range. Knocked out of bounds by the 36ers. Deng. Been pretty quiet today.
Right idea there, Tanner Krebs with the back door. There's the pass straight into Tad Duffelmeyer's legs. Throw that out in front, let Tanner Krebs go and get it.
Another foul called, this time on Daniel Johnson. Tick over 7 minutes remaining. Scores locked away at 54 here at MyState Bank Arena in Tasmania. Tanner Krebs lays it up in front of his hometown Hobart fans. He's provided some real value today, 15 points. Isaac Katorna misses just about everything on his three ball. If you missed the first half, the Brisbane Bullets got out of the gates fast, led by 12 midway through the first term. Adelaide pinned that back, and we've been pretty close ever since. It's Olbrich scores from underneath the bucket.
Gets him on the scoreboard, probably getting that chance. And
Nice.
Mason Kadee, good take there, and one opportunity. Fouling Katorna. Just wondering, as we see Mojave King and Todd Withers back at the scorer's bench, whether this could be for Mitch McCarron and Daniel Johnson just to sit the rest of this one out.
Jason Kadee's been really marshalling the troops this afternoon in the absence of so many of their starters.
I thought potentially that McCarron and Johnson might come out, but no way. CJ Bruton want to win this one. Good pass there. Mojave King, Daniel Johnson. This is the layup.
Tamari Wigness crossing over on Withers. Withers did well to stand up straight. Wigness did even better to score over the top.
Did well there. He just played that perfectly.
travel.
Got away with the first one, get away with the second one. Definitely a travel when he originally caught it, and there you go. Marshall back into the game. One rebound shy of that double-double.
Wigness, Deng, Digbo, Salt, and McKinnon. 5 on the floor for Brisbane. McCarron, King, Withers, Johnson, Marshall. Digbo drives and draws a foul on Mojave King.
And that's Mojave King's 5th foul. Tom Digbo has the ability we've seen to, once he gets that first step, to play through contact and get a shot up. And Jack Salt going to sit down in this one. Big Lou comes back in.
How have you seen Jack Salt this afternoon?
I mean, he's been good. He's missed a couple that he needs to be able to make in terms of those ones that should be 10 out of 10s, those easy little dump-off finishes or offensive rebounds. But he got 6 points, got 9 rebounds. That's the kind of solid play James Duncan will be looking for. So no, Terrell Harrison does that exceptionally well. He's more of a shot blocker as well on the other end with his length, but cleans up the glass, gets some extra possessions on the offensive end, but just gets to the perfect spot for dump-offs, for dunks. That's what they want from their backups, and we'll see a bit of a mixture of Lou and Salt, depending on the opposition.
Marshall, nice pass for Dufelmeyer in the corner for 3. 36ers get themselves back within 1. Nice drive and dish play from Nick Marshall. Oh, Wigness. Sloppy pass.
Oh, Wigness just trying to give the Tasmanian fans a touch of the game ball. I'm glad to see him try and throw it up for Lou, but still put it somewhere close to him.
Adelaide look to take the lead back off this possession. Offensive rebound, Mitch McCarron. He's continuing to fill up the stat sheet. Johnson. He's off target. And McKinnon into the corner for Wigness. Tried to bank that one home. No good. Tane Samuel scraps for it.
Mitch McCarron, the veteran move, putting his hand up saying that was on me, even though it might not have been, but just taking a foul for his first one for the game.
Four and a half minutes to play. Shuan Xing Lu from mid-range. Off the front of the rim. And McCarron forces the issue. Takes it with the left hand. And Tanner Krebs is going to come back in. Digbo out. Melbourne and Southeast Melbourne to come shortly after we finish here. 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. All on KO freebies. It's the final game of the NBL Blitz. Lou, hard of the basket. Took on 4 Adelaide defenders.
Well, you think one of them probably fouled the big fella. I love to see how quickly he rolls. For his size, from why he tries to hit a through ball, doesn't get it. It's incredible. And how to get up and through the Sixers defense there. Just another dimension that we haven't seen. I mean, the biggest player to have ever played in the NBL, 7'5".
McKinnon is fouled.
Normally you're always at it, maybe an inch or two depending on what you want to have listed, but it doesn't really matter for Lou because he's only 7'4". It's still going to be a massive
Doesn't matter.
impact on the league and for the Bullets.
Anything over 7 foot's enormous, Pete. What are you tipping in at? 6'4"?
I am 6'4",
Yeah.
but I always put around 6'3" back in the day.
Did you?
Tried to go the other way.
Why?
No idea.
Just being your own person?
Always had a small wingspan, which is always smaller than my height, which never helped. But Adelaide 36ers fans in particular, but some basketball fans in Australia might remember Sam Harris, 7'2". He was a training player with the Sixers in 2009. Good take there from Daniel Johnson, and I was around there, and he is a big unit. So to think of the presence Big Lou will have for the Bullets and the league, it's going to be a great thing for James Duncan to have up his sleeve to throw out there against different teams at different times. Because no matter what, whoever's playing the Bullets, you have to have preparation for when he steps on the floor. It's going to change your game plan. What do you want to get out of it? So you're going to have your regular scout, you're going to have all of that, and then you're going to have something ready for when Lou comes out.
Same can be said for, I think we'll see more minutes out of Joe Chi, but Joe Chi's shown his worth already for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, and well, Kai Soto we've only seen a little bit of in the NBL Blitz. The 36ers have been really careful managing his minutes throughout this pre-season tournament.
That's a good point that you bring. Joe Chi won't be in the next game for the pre-season throwdown. He's in the FIBA qualifiers.
Yes. Yep.
Playing well too, but no, he's been a really great find, and the excitement all around the world for the NBL this year is...
Withers steps out for three.
Good. Good Todd Withers with his 13 points. His first three was 0-5 before that one. A few rebounds. Played almost 30 minutes. But just starting to come into his own in the last couple of games as we get ready for the real stuff. As Deng Deng, he's had a rough one tonight. 0-6, 2 points. Got 9 rebounds, which he will do is get on the glass.
McCarron did well to keep that in. It's a wild pass from Withers. Johnson spots up in the corner. 2 minutes and 9 seconds to play. It's Adelaide who lead by 3 with the Loggins Bruton Cup up for grabs. McKinnon goes to work and scores. He's been good in this fourth quarter. Johnson couldn't score over the top of Deng Deng. Bullets with a chance to take the lead back.
As we expected, it's whoever wins this game is going to win the cup. Is that how we think our maths is correct?
We'll come back to that ladder in just a moment. Kadee on the drive. Thought he was fouled. No call from the official. And McCarron, outstanding no-look pass for Dufelmeyer.
Timeout from James Duncan. That's what Mitch McCarron's going to do. Those lookaways, just getting everybody, just surveys the floor exceptionally well. That's why I've loved his transition into a full-time point guard. It's perfect for the role he wants to play. And only really started doing it when he was playing in Spain. They kind of said, can you give you the ball to play? And that's where he started to think, this is what I want to grow. And then Dean Vickerman started to give him more of that opportunity in his first year back with Melbourne United, and then was the full-time one in their championship last year. But I love it. I think it's great for his future.
So 16-13 this quarter. Adelaide lead it by 1. Brisbane won the first quarter,
which put them up by 2 on the ladder.
Second quarter went the way of Adelaide. Third quarter went the way of Brisbane. Just got the abacus out here, Pete, don't we? Just try to...
Well, I think the only way that there potentially it wouldn't have come down to the game result was if the Bullets had won all 3 quarters. I think that was the only way we could have potentially had a count back or a tie, because then it would have put them up by 4 points heading into the last quarter. And if Adelaide got the last quarter and the win, would have given them the 4 points. So I think I'm right there. I think there's degrees are helping me out. So it'll come down to this one. Minute 10 left. The preseason cup on the line.
Tom Digbo drawing the foul. The last ESPN top 100 for next year's NBA draft had Tom Digbo inside it. His father Elaine was drafted in 1997 by Atlanta to play in the NBA. Played a lot of basketball nationally for the French team.
It was a bit of a later, I mean, one of the last next stars signed, and everyone else was, when you want the French connection in New Zealand had the potential to be, and Huck Porty, who we'll see next game, a few guys that were exciting. Good pass from Doofmeyer, didn't rush, didn't throw that last second heave. Daniel Johnson was doing all the work underneath. And I'm really high on him. I think he brings an excitement factor as he gets away with the travel there. Deng Deng just having one of those days.
One good possession from the 36ers here, could just about take care of it. The Bullets have got some fouls to give.
But he's someone who, when you put him alongside Sobey and Patterson, Digbo, a couple of bigs, he's going to find his role. He's going to enjoy that.
McCarron with 7 on the clock, with his back out for Johnson.
Well, saying that Daniel Johnson did the veteran move and kind of caused the contact, but
He smiles about it as well.
Mitch McCarron was going for the old soccer, take the ball to the corner flag and wind down the clock.
He was.
Got double teamed, and exactly how you waste time in the last couple seconds.
It's knocked out of bounds. Digbo almost coming up with it.
Eleven seconds on the clock, and the Bullets have got a lot of fouls to get to send to the Sixers to the line. And he stepped out of bounds, Daniel Johnson, after all of that. Just a bit nonchalant. It looked like, I think he thought the Bullets were going to foul. They just fouled 3 quick possessions to try and get the Sixers to the line. I think Daniel Johnson expected them to foul on the catch. Might have been there. Was a bit of contact, but not a whole lot in it. Wasn't called. He stepped out of bounds, and the Bullets have a chance to tie it.
It's been a roller coaster, this game. There was the fast start from Brisbane, and then Adelaide themselves leading at half-time. 14 seconds remain. Adelaide by 3, Brisbane in possession. What are they doing here, Pete? They taking the 2?
What about, I think it's about 9 seconds. Is it 9 or 10 seconds? So we'll get a proper look at the clock. If you want to make the long game, it's the chance to do it. I wouldn't be surprised you draw something up for a Jason Kadee, Tanner Krebs 3. If it's not there, have those options to attack and get it downhill. There you go, 8.4 seconds on the top of the shot clock there on the left hoop. Get some sort of play. Looking for a 3 ball. If the quick 2 is there, take it. Here we go. Look for Jason Kadee to come back into this one.
Samuel hands off. Kadee looks for Tanner Krebs. Hand in the face. It's deep. McCarron pulls down the rebound with less than a second to play.
Well, it's good diversion, because you thought about when Jason Kadee inbounding the ball that it was going to come back to him. Little punch screen on the weak side for Tanner Krebs. There wasn't a lot of connection because Nick Marshall was on him like a glove. Jason Kadee just threw it and hoped. And in the end, it was a good look. Probably the best look they could have got once Jason Kadee had thrown the pass. A little step back, heavily contested. Sean McCarron just needs one of these to go down. He does that. James Duncan ready to Macken going to steal probably. No, he's happy to let that one go. I thought he'd got the whiteboard at a call sign with the Sixers send their blitz undefeated. Not prettiest today, but got the job done.
5 wins from 5 starts under new coach CJ Bruton. It's been an outstanding NBL Blitz from the Adelaide 36ers. And they get it done today, 72-67 at MyState Bank Arena. They can take some seriously good form now into the NBL 22 season, Pete.
Well, they can. I mean, winning always helps, and Bullets won't be too upset missing their entire starting lineup and having their chance.
And with that, the Adelaide 36ers are officially crowned the Loggins Bruton Cup champions for the NBL Blitz. They finish on a total of 21.5 points, 2 points ahead of the Brisbane Bullets on 19.5. So they came, they saw, and they conquered.
They got the job done, as I said. A lot of things to work on for the Sixers, but winning games always helps that mental side of it. Mitch McCarron was good, Daniel Johnson was good, Nick Marshall was really good. Withers showed signs and plenty to build on as they get ready for round 1.
So the final score here at MyState Bank Arena, 72-67. Don't go too far. In about 20 minutes from now, we head to Parkville for the final game of the NBL Blitz, where Melbourne United will take on the South East Melbourne Phoenix. Until then, stay safe. We'll see you next time on KO Freebies for the NBL Blitz.